This is part 6 of a 10-part series on why the Shohei Ohtani signing is bad for baseball. My previous blogs explained why the deferred contracts of the Los Angeles Dodgers are more detrimental to the game of baseball than steroids, binoculars, or anything Pete Rose did. This blog will explain more about the luxury tax and the different ways some teams have had to cope. The San Diego Padres seem to have spent money beyond their comfort zone to sign free agent superstars. They depleted their farm system to acquire others. However, when baseball suspended Tatis, the Padres' chances of reaching the World Series was substantially crippled. Now, San Diego, a team that has never won a World Series, is losing the stars that it acquired. Their window for winning is probably closing. Meanwhile, the super-rich Dodgers, who signed endless stars that didn't work out, found a backdoor way to continue to sign star players without incurring the cost that normally accompanies such extravagance. Despite some major bad choices, the Dodgers proceed without even a flicker in their window of opportunity. My hometown Orioles made a couple of free agent signings that didn't work out, and the team spent several decades recovering. The reality for most teams is that their star players leave and the team goes into a decline. My hometown Orioles made several bad long-term commitments. Notably, one player got hurt and another deteriorated overnight. It took the Orioles 2 decades to recover. Maybe after all these years they'll make it to the World Series and they'll play the Dodgers, who keep $70 million a year off their books with the Robin Hood of baseball. Except he's not Robin Hood. He's like a rich billionaire who's looking for loopholes, tax loopholes. The Los Angeles Angels, Ohtani's previous team, have also been unlucky with their free agent signings. Arguably, no team has had as many conspicuous failures. But the Angels keep trying to find a way to win within baseball's structure. This past season, despite Mike Trout being out with an injury and Shohei unable to pitch, the club traded some of its higher-level prospects in a last-ditch effort to surround Ohtani's bat with the necessary players to contend for the playoffs. The Angels were soon eliminated anyway. Trying desperately to get under the luxury tax, the Angels unloaded most of the newly acquired players, some through outright release, no doubt hoping to have the capital to sign Ohtani to a legitimate no deferred dollars contract, similar to the one Mike Trout signed. This seems to be an example of the hard decisions a team is given if everyone follows the intent of the competitive balance luxury tax rationale. The Angels maneuvered like the Dickens, but Ohtani left anyway. Same city, stadiums only 30 miles apart. Ohtani chose the team that was maintaining its decade-long supremacy by signing star players to deferred contracts. The Dodgers, aided by the substantial deferrals to both Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts, had no need for the last-minute Angel type of scrambling necessary to stay under the luxury tax in 2023. Shohei chose the Dodgers and by deferring his salary, rewarded them with another 10 years of payroll flexibility. He didn't need binoculars or the banging on a trash can to determine the off-the-field dealings that would keep his new team in a never-ending contending position to win throughout his playing career. The Dodgers, after loading their tuchus up with creatine contracts from Betts and Freeman, went after the top shelf stuff and injected their hindquarters with a full blast of Ohtani. At this point, a distinction needs to be made over the rationale for deferments. Ken Griffey Jr., for instance, signed a deferred contract with the Cincinnati Reds in the year 2000. However, this was not done so that the Reds could circumvent the luxury tax. Cincinnati was not and never has been near the luxury tax cutoff, even if Griffey's deferred dollars are added in. Cincinnati, a small market team with limited cash revenue, deferred a portion of this contract in order to be able to afford complementary pieces to join Griffey, most likely a necessary consideration for all of the small market teams who sign big name players to extended contracts. Compare that to the Dodgers of 2024. Even going into the season with over $100 million worth of deferments, the team is still butting up against the luxury tax. Furthermore, according to baseball's calculations, the 2023 Dodgers were under the salary cap, and thus their luxury tax dollars were reset. But were they really under? MVP finalists Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman both have substantial deferments. What happens if those deferments, and any others, are added in? Did the Dodgers really reset in the manner that the purpose of the competitive balance tax intended? We're not talking loopholes. We're not talking Boston Tea Party, damn the taxes. We're talking fair competition in a league that consists of 30 teams of varying financial capability. Don't misunderstand. A player can defer his salary to whatever year he wants. However, in terms of the luxury tax, the salary should be, needs to be, applied evenly for the years that the player is contracted to the team. Think of it this way. Food stamps are accepted as a necessity for the many whose incomes are insufficient to meet their daily needs. However, you wouldn't want a Bill Gates in line at a supermarket using food stamps to pay for his groceries. This ends the sixth blog. The seventh blog will go into more detail of exactly why the Dodgers' use of the deferred contract needs to be ended, should be retroactively ended.